Hi everybody, it's Clutch here from the Suck Motorcycle Blog. Here on January, or excuse me, not January. It's really hot for January. July 2nd, 2020, and I'm here to tell you about a near miss. And yes, this is kind of a Debbie Downer topic, but it's important things, important lessons learned. You're going to have to forgive the little bit of cat hissing in the background. Actually babysitting a couple of our neighbors' cats in addition to our two. So there may be some shenanigans. One of them's actually a kitten who's about, I'd say he's probably about 3 months old. Would you two cut it out? Stop. Stop. Cut it out. Don't mess with his food. Leave him alone. Anyways, I apologize for that. So, anyways, let's talk about near misses. So, those of you in the industry, you're pretty familiar with the term near miss. And the OSHAs, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration here in the United States, basically they're all about workplace safety. They define a near miss as an incident where no property was damaged and no personal injury was sustained, but we're given a slight shift in time or position, damage and or injury could have easily occurred. Now this event I'm about to talk to you about here is definitely one of those events. So let's go over here to my slideshow. We got our cool guy here on this GL1000, which actually is pretty good, pretty cool little looking gold one he's got chopped up there. But so a little background on what happened here. So I was driving northbound I-25 in Colorado. This happened in July. This was July of 2015 is when this all happened. And once again, I was on I-25 on Monument Hill in Colorado. And it was late in the afternoon, and it was actually cloudy. It wasn't too hot. It was mid-60s. It actually there'd just been some rain that moved through. Not too far before that. So, but the roads were dry, and like I said, it wasn't too bad. Actually, actually kind of nice out because it wasn't, stifling hot or anything. And the other thing, it was rush hour traffic, although the speeds were good. It was like really good, like normal highway speeds. Like we were probably, like the speed limit was like 75, and I think we were all doing about 70. So, traffic was moving pretty good. So here's a little view of kind of what I saw here. And this is actually a screen grab I took from Google Maps, and it was actually a 3-lane road. So that's kind of what the area we kind of looked at there. Biggest thing is there was a hill there. Essentially, we were coming up on a hill is where the situation was heading. And so just from a look here, I'll show you kind of a look here of how it looks like on the road. So essentially, we got our standard 3-lane road here. Now, we were traveling in this lane. I was right here in lane position 1, and a buddy of mine was behind me in lane position 3, just a little bit behind me. Kind of your standard position you would be where you're riding with 2 bikes. And what we had was we were coming up on a pickup, which was about here, and pulling a camper, a bumper pulled camper. And there was a vehicle about here when we first come up to it, kind of about the front of the bumper, that other pickup. So essentially what happened was the car got clear of that camper. And this camper was it was swaying a little bit. I don't know if it was quite loaded right or anything. It was a little bit of sway, and it's one of those moments where, yep, okay, we got our gap. We're just going to go ahead and get around this camper. And that's why I am with semis, anything big like that. I kind of wait, and once I get my gap, I get around them. Well, about the time I was starting to accelerate, it was about time this vehicle in front of me all of a sudden just stopped. And one of those moments where the whole interstate, those moments where it just stops. Everything just all of a sudden stopped. And, so what happened was essentially I was able to get the bike braked, slow down enough, and I managed to swerve and stopped here. I was right here, I braked, and I managed to swerve here and get stopped here on the other side of the yellow line. Essentially, once I got stopped, I was here, and the bumper of that car that was in front of me was probably about here. So honestly, without that swerve, I definitely run into the back end of that car. And honestly, I figured sure as heck when that started happening, I figured, oh, here we go. Like I figured we were goners. But it was one of those deals. I remember seeing traffic stop, hitting the brakes, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I'm here right beside this car going, thinking, wow, we made it through that one. So obviously, when I was going through all that, I was obviously going on pure instinct. So how did I avoid that? Well, obviously I got slowed down enough and was able to swerve out of the way. Now, how did I do that? Well, I think one of the factors that played into this was training. Now, when I first started training, when I first started riding, I didn't take a BRC class. And in 2004 when I started, or 2005 when I started learning to ride, it wasn't really talked about. Like, it wasn't really advertised. It was kind of a, you heard of people taking the class, but for whatever reason, I thought it was something you could only do if you bought a Harley and all these stupid things that you don't know about when you first start riding. And honestly, around here in 2005, it was a different world around here in 2005. So I learned from my father-in-law. Well, he was one of those guys, rode from years before. He never used his front brake. That's how I learned to ride. I learned to ride never using your front brake. Oh, you slam on that front brake and you go flipping over. Well, as we all know, most of us know now, that's actually a load of garbage. But at that time, old wives' tale, yeah, you never use the front brake. It was more of I used the front brake to hold me at the stoplight, essentially. So I had never used the front brake before I took my BRC2 class in 2011. I never took BRC1 because I already knew how to ride. In 2011, my job mandated that I take a basic rider class. And honestly, since I already rode, I just went ahead and took BRC2. And I'm glad I did because I got to do it on my own bike. So I'd never used the front brake before all that. And so, obviously, when I did this, I used my front brake. And honestly, I wouldn't, first, I'll be honest with you, I never would have got stopped had I not used both of the brakes. Also, factored into that a little bit was equipment too. I had a GL 1500, a 94. Well, by that time, Honda was doing link brakes on their Goldwing. Essentially, link brake is what it is one of your front rotors calipers is linked to your rear caliper when you use your rear brake. So I probably maybe would have had a chance using just rear brake, but I'm pretty sure that little having a full stopping power of all the brakes, that's what helped me get slowed down in time. And maybe the link brakes might have helped me maybe not lock up. If I would have grabbed a little too much brake or something like that, because I never did lock up the wheels or anything. I think the instinct helped me a lot too. I think some of that was developed through training. Obviously doing that BRC2 classes, going through drills, you develop that muscle memory that provides you that instinct. One of the reasons that before, SWAT teams are a prime example, or, military units, you practice your simple squad drills nonstop. And the reason why you do that is because, so when it's for real, you don't have to sit there and think about what you got to do. You just do it. And I think in this instinct obviously helped me. I didn't have to think. Obviously, I didn't think about what I was doing because I don't remember consciously thinking my way through it. I remember it just happening. I think other driving experience is I think because I used to drive big rigs, I still have a Class A CDL. I drove for quite a few years, so I think driving with big rigs, I think I developed that, some of those instincts on, because when you drive a truck, you kind of got to have some good instincts. You kind of got to judge people a little bit. So I think maybe that helped me, recognize the hazard a little bit quicker. Also, a big thing that helped me out was the lane positioning. I was in lane position 1. So on your lanes, you got lane 1, lane 2, or you got your lane here, and then you got 1, 2, 3. 1 being on the left, 3 being on the right, and 2 being up the middle. I think one thing that helped me was the fact that I was on the inside lane. And actually, let's go back to our diagram here. So I was here on this inside lane, and also I was in lane position 1. I had a wide open escape path here. And I think that also helped me, because when I was able to brake, I had plenty of room to get over and get out of the way. Now, that's why I think that lane is probably one of the best lanes to be on when you're riding down the road. But I think that definitely helped me out. And also, there definitely was some luck in the play. I don't deny that there had to be some kind of luck that went into play. I definitely, think I'd made right with the man that day or something, because obviously there was a little bit of luck that helped me out with that too, I think. So, in the aftermath, I realized how important training was. Obviously, like I said before, I'd never used that front brake for BRC2. So I never done any of those skills before I did BRC2. That next summer, I took the advanced rider class. Like I said, little pause. This is Ghibli. This is the little kitten. I've been cat sitting, so you've probably heard him running around. But you need to go over here, because I got to finish shooting a video. So now Ghibli's a movie star. So, okay, where was I? All right, so realized the importance of training. I took the advanced rider class that next summer, and I'm really glad I did. I was going to take BRC2 again, but I learned this opportunity out at the Air Force Base here at Ellsworth where they had an advanced rider class. And essentially the difference between that and BRC is instead of 10 to 15 miles an hour, it's 25 to 30 miles an hour. So the speeds ramp up. And if you get a chance to take that class, I'm telling you that is actually a pretty fun class. You'll be amazed at the capabilities of what your bike will have after that. I know I was very amazed with what the 1500 could do after that. So we took that class. Going back lane position, I learned the value of that. I learned how important lane position is. Before that, I pretty much rode the middle, and I'd get, like, the reason I was where I was that day is because I had a bike behind me. But otherwise, I'd pretty much stay up the middle. Well, after that day, I learned the importance of having some good lane positioning, you know, being close to the edge of the lanes and being able to adjust it as you go. So, and with that lane position, I learned obviously the importance of always having an escape path. On that road there, I had an escape path there, and I had a really easy way to get to it because I was in lane position 1. So, trucking lessons learned. Now what I mean by that, I took some of these lessons learned to driving a truck. I still drive a truck every once in a while to this day. I've helped my dad out over the years. I've also helped out at my job. Sometimes they need a relief truck driver, so that's what I'll do as well when we need a relief driver. So, and these lessons I've learned here have helped me out with that. Maybe not so much the escape path or lane position, but a lot of it just kind of anticipating what traffic's going to do. That has helped me a lot. So, and being more vigilant of my surroundings. Also, another big part of that is following distance. Honestly, the more following distance you have, and this goes for a motorcycle too, the better. The more following distance you have, the better. I think one thing that helped me out in that crash too is, well, I wasn't right on the vehicle behind me. I was speeding up, but I still had a decent amount of space between me and that vehicle behind me. So I was able to have a little more room. The more room you have, the better. And for those of you out there that say, oh, you don't drive where I drive, and there's no way you keep proper spacing. Actually, you can. You just have to make a conscious effort to do it. You just can't be lazy and go, oh, well, they just cut me off, I can't do it. Bullshit. Make a conscious effort to fight for your following distance. If you do that, I'm telling you, it will be a lot easier. I can do this with a semi in Chicago and Minneapolis and cars in California. That's right, the Bay Area, Oakland, Las Vegas, you know, Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia. I've been able to do that with a car, keep good following distance with the car too. So, like I said, don't tell me it's not possible, because I'd say you're full of it. But anyways, another thing with the aftermath, I definitely gained a lot of confidence. I had lost some because I had an incident in a parking lot in June of 2015. And you could actually check out that video if you look in the links. The video is called The Crash. And so feel free to take a look at that, because that's kind of what I went through after that crash. So I'd lost a lot of confidence. But what helped me gain it back, I think a lot of it was I was able to make this crash a near miss. And I was able to react in the proper way so that I didn't hurt myself, the motorcycle, and most importantly, my wife as well. So that was some pretty important things. It's funny, even after that, my wife was, you know, she thought we were going to hit too, but she said that I did a good job and she didn't get hurt. So that's what she was happy about. And we were able to ride the bike home. So, and it wasn't broken. So, you know, obviously we did some good things, a little bit of luck, made that crash a near miss. Now, getting back to these near misses, I challenge all you out there to take a look back, think about your near misses you've had, because I'm pretty sure that you've had a few over the years. Maybe not a ton, but I'm pretty sure you've had a few over the years. So I'd like you to sit back, think about them, and just think about them from the perspective of, you know, what you did right, what you did wrong, what you could improve, and kind of what helped make that crash a near miss. Because obviously, obviously a near miss is still not good either, but it's better than a crash. Sit there, think about your near misses. Take a good, legit look, think about it, you know, legitimately look at it and see what you could have done right or wrong. And the reason why this is important is, once again, these are the kind of things, if you think about them now, you know, tomorrow when you're on a ride, you know, you may be more cognizant of, hey, this last crash, I just about had a mishap because I was following too close. You may go, okay, I'm going to keep my following distance good. So stuff like that. Make sure you're keeping that in mind. So, anyways, Once again, I am Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, and I just want to wish you well. Hopefully you're being safe and doing what you're supposed to be doing and riding safe and getting some good miles in. Once again, I'm Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, reminding you to keep the rubber side down and enjoy the ride. Have a good night.